It's a brand new day. Praise God. It's good to talk to you again this morning. Yesterday we looked at God's goodness to us in trouble, in all kinds of trouble. That was Psalm 107, and the verse we focused on was verse 8. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness, for his wonderful works to the children of men. Today, we are going to talk about specific examples from this psalm of God's goodness to us in our trouble. In verse 5, it says that we, in our trouble, are hungry and thirsty, and our soul faints. And this is compared with verse 9, the answer, God satisfies the longing soul and fills the hungry soul with goodness. So in your trouble, if you're hungry and thirsty and hoping for something that satisfies, God satisfies. In verse 10, it's paired with verse 16. And it says, people, because of trouble, they sit in darkness, bound in affliction and iron. And this trouble that we're bound in is actually trouble that comes from a judgment upon our sinfulness. And it's our behavior that puts us in prison, things we can't get out of. In the verse 16 says, God breaks the gates of brass. That's breaking the judgment so that we're no longer bound by the just consequences of our behavior. And then it says also, God cuts the bars of iron in sunder. That is, he breaks the bars that hold us in. And in simplest meaning of this is this: God gives us a jailbreak from the trouble that our behavior puts us in. And then verse 27 is contrasted with verse 29 and 30. In verse 27 it says, our trouble, we reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man, and we are at our wit's end. And boy does that describe our world today. We stagger. We're at our wit's end. In verse 29 says, God makes the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still. Then they are glad, those that are in the storm, those that are staggering, those are at their wit's end, because they be quiet. In your current trouble, do you reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man? Are you at your wit's end? Then cry unto the Lord in your trouble, and he will deliver you. I love David's conclusion to this psalm. The righteous shall see it. That is, they'll see God's deliverance. They'll rejoice when they see it, and all iniquity shall stop her mouth. Iniquity is the brokenness of our behavior, brokenness of other behavior that's sinful, and all broken behavior is sinful. And stop her mouth means shut up. My behavior, my brokenness will quit crying out to me, there's no hope. Your behavior will quit saying that to me, there's no hope. It shuts up when we see God's deliverance. Verse 43, whoso is wise and will observe these things, that is, those who pay attention to what God has done and is doing in delivering us, even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Lord, how good God is. And I do know this, we struggle with understanding how good God is, but when we see it and pay attention to it, to God's deliverance, we understand the loving kindness of the Lord. Thank you, and God bless you today.